and welcome to my first video on this new channel. So yes, there are other videos. I did re-upload some of my movie related content from my other two channels. If you are new here, you're not coming from any of my other channels. My name is Ashley. I have a beauty channel, I have a vlog channel, and then now I have this. I love movies, I love TV shows. It is literally what I'm doing if I'm not working. That is how I relax. My favorite show is Buffy. So I just wanted kind of a space where I wouldn't feel like I was cluttering up the flow of my channel and I could just nerd out freely and give my opinions on movies and give my opinions on TV shows, and that is what I'm going to be doing. Starting off with one of my favorite videos to do that I was previously hosting on my second channel. Hopefully I've moved all of those videos over here if you want to go back, but I basically track all of the movies that I've been watching on my Letterboxd, which I will link down below, and I'm going to talk about them, give you little mini reviews. This is from March and April of 2022, so let's get into it. I watched Fresh, coming out from 2022. Everybody has talked about this movie. It has Sebastian Stan in it as somebody with unique food tastes, and it follows a very, very romantic dating story, and it's, I would say, kind of a more like campy, on the nose, making fun of itself kind of horror movie. It's also one of those movies where the main character isn't making stupid fucking choices. You're not sitting there screaming at your TV like, oh my god, you obviously don't go back in there. Instead, you're like, ooh, I'm impressed that she thought of that, or I'm impressed that she could follow through with this plan. So that one I gave 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. I watched The Adam Project. Okay, I just want to sit and talk about this one for a second. So this one obviously has got Ryan Reynolds, it has got Zoe Saldana, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, hello reunion 13 going on 30. I'm just gonna read you the description here. Past meets future after accidentally crash landing in 2022, time traveling fighter pilot. Nope, still incorrect. Pilot. Okay. Adam Reed teams up with his 12-year-old self on a mission to save the future. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It is definitely kind of more geared towards children movie that parents can watch and not want to kill themselves. However, the amount of tears that this made me cry was unnecessary, and I don't know if I was just particularly emotional that day or if it just really tugged on my heartstrings, but like, holy shit, there's some real life, aside from the time travel and obviously the fantastical aspects of it, some real world emotions that it's grounded in. Sometimes I find that those sci-fi movies don't really have the emotional impact that kind of take it to the next level, and this one did. This movie is so fucking weird. This is the Cleave Hitch killer. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I'm still kind of questioning why. So the description of this one is, a picture-perfect family is torn apart after Tyler finds a cache of disturbing images in his father's possession. He begins to suspect the man that he trusts most in the world may be responsible for the murder of 13 women. It sounds interesting, right? Like the family that you knew and loved, it just seems to be falling away. But the family at the like center of this movie is so, they're so religious, but more than that, they're so fucking weird. It's like they took a religious stereotype of it's like they took the Duggars. If the Duggars were doing legal shit, this is a biography about the Duggars. Anyways, it was awkward to watch, but still kind of entertaining, so 3 out of 5 stars. Windfall, 2022. This one has got some big names in it. You have got, obviously, Jason Segel, you have Lily Collins, you have Jesse Plemons, and Omar Levea. I know that a lot of people hated this movie because they thought it was a slow burn and very boring. I loved this movie because that was the exact vibe I wanted. This is described as a man breaks into a tech billionaire's empty vacation home. Things go sideways when the arrogant mogul and his wife arrive for a last-minute getaway. I enjoyed the humor in this movie. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars just because it fit what I was looking for, though. I do see the complaints. Like, it does kind of feel like not enough happened to fill out a full-length feature film, and being a single location, there needs to be a little bit more that happens. So if I wasn't in the mood to watch something slow burn, I would have probably found this very boring. But if you're in the mood for that, it's good. If you're in the mood for like a break-in horror movie, something with a lot of action, skip this one because it will not fit that. I went to see The Lost City in theaters. This has Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, it has Daniel Radcliffe. I wanted a rom-com movie. I wanted to go back into theaters like I was going back when I was 15 and it's like mid-2000s and you're seeing things like, I'm trying to think of mid-2000 rom-coms. All right, I'm seeing a lot of Gerard Butler, I'm seeing a lot of Katherine Heigl, I'm seeing some Hilary Duff, although that's like the late aughts, but I wanted something like that where it was just stupid, the writing was good, the chemistry was good, and goddamn, I got it. So this movie is described as following a reclusive romantic novelist who was sure nothing could be worse than getting stuck on a book tour with her cover model until a kidnapping attempt sweeps them both up into a cutthroat jungle adventure. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. It gave me exactly what I wanted. The chemistry was great. I loved the writing that it didn't go like exactly where you thought it was gonna go. And I just like jungle adventure movies, okay? It was just like, I enjoyed it. This is like the movie I'm gonna go to when I want kind of a comfort rom-com. It's like the non-guilty pleasure of rom-coms. Like for me, a guilty pleasure is like The Ugly Truth or pretty much anything with Katherine Heigl in it, because those movies are just like, they hit certain points and they satisfy you, but like, are they good movies? Not really. But this is like generally a good movie. So if you like rom-coms, you like Channing Tatum, you like Sandra Bullock, you like Daniel Radcliffe having a lot of fun in a role, this is a good one for you. I was kind of down a Channing Tatum rabbit hole, so when I saw a Dog was available to watch, I was like, okay. So this is a movie about Channing Tatum. He is in the army. He wants to get back in. He's told in order to get back in, he has to deliver a dog from point A to point B, and shit goes wrong a lot because this dog is traumatized, okay? And he meets some fun characters and wacky adventures along the way. I enjoyed looking at Channing Tatum's face. I rated this one 3 out of 5 stars. It was a predictable story, like every single beat, you get it. And I would probably watch it again because Channing Tatum is so cute. On my girls' trip to Calgary with Jade, I will link that vlog down below. It can be found on my second channel. We got really high one night and we watched an Adam Sandler movie, and that is my shame that I am admitting to you because I am not an Adam Sandler bitch, but I am a Jennifer Aniston bitch, and sometimes she is an Adam Sandler bitch. And so we watched Murder Mystery, and I gotta say I liked it. All right, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Was it good? No. Was it guilty pleasure entertainment though? Yes. Was it a good high movie? Yes. Did we order crepes at midnight to watch it with? Yes. And was it good? No. But was it an overall pleasurable experience? Yes. In case you haven't seen this masterpiece of a flick, it came out in 2019, directed by Kyle Newacek. That's not important information to me, but maybe it is to you. It is about, after attending a gathering on a billionaire's yacht during a European vacation, a New York cop and his wife become prime suspects when he is murdered. And it is basically just like, I'm a cop and that is my personality, and then the wife, Jennifer Aniston, glorious praise, is a woman who reads murder mystery novels, and that's the whole movie. Would I watch it again? Not sober. Then I watched No Exit. So this is a brand new horror movie that came out this year. It follows a girl who is getting out of a rehab center to go and visit her mom. She gets into this big storm, has to stop at a rest stop, and at that rest stop, she finds a girl is kidnapped and trapped in a van, and she doesn't know who did it. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. It worked as a one location movie for me. I just wish that there was kind of more of a... There wasn't a lot of horror, you know? There were some moments where suspense was huge, but I just wish there was like a little bit more. I feel like this movie could have pushed it a little bit more. I feel like it gave away certain things a little too early, and if it just held on for a minute or two more, like it could have been a bigger payoff. The backstory was fine. Oh my god, they made this little girl that was getting kidnapped look horrible. Like, children are monsters, truly. But like still, never an excuse to kidnap one. Okay, I watched X. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This is my kind of movie, okay? And I am not a big, like, stalking slasher film person, unless you talk about Scream. But, like, in general, like, getting stalked through a forest or, like, getting chased down by cannibals, like, things like that, not really super into it. But this movie was so it kept my attention, and I was just like watching it without looking at my phone, which is kind of the telltale sign of like, I actually enjoyed this one. So if you haven't heard of it, X came out this year. It is featuring a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in 1979 in a secluded farmhouse in rural Texas. The reclusive elderly hosts take a special interest in their young guests, and as night falls in, the couple's leering interests take a violent turn. First of all, the porn. It was good. Second of all, the kills. They were good. Okay. Third of all, the old couple. They were very creepy. And it was also done in a way that my first thought wasn't like, these people are 9,000 years old. Push them over, you know? It was done in a way where it's like, bitch probably would have tricked me in that position too. I probably would have been like, oh, let me help you, ma'am, and then she would have murdered me. Because it's not like they're using their strength to kill these people. They're very old and brittle, okay? So I'm glad the movie wasn't like, he may be 7,000 years old, but he can still throw a punch and take a punch. It was more like, we're using our intellect to murder these kids, right? And they did. And Brittany Snow's in it, and I love Brittany Snow. Also, I'm sorry, Kid Cudi is in this? That was fucking Kid Cudi? No way. And then Martin Henderson is in this, and he was in Grey's Anatomy as Riggs, maybe? Yes, Nathan Riggs. Knew I recognized that face. 2 days ago, we watched Nightmare Alley, and by we, I mean I watched it on and off on my phone, and then my partner was asleep on the couch, kind of coming in and out of consciousness and being like, what is that? And I was like, there's literally no point in explaining it. You're not gonna understand because you've been asleep for half an hour. And he's like, okay, and then he falls back asleep and does the same thing a half an hour later. This one kind of fell a little flat for me. So anyways, this movie is about an ambitious carnival man with a talent for manipulating people with a few well-chosen words, hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars, which is kind of my like, it's not a good movie, it's not a bad movie, it held my attention score. I enjoyed this setting. I enjoyed the carnival aspects to it, but it was just a movie that I felt like a lot of very little happened. I feel like the journey was stretched. I feel like half an hour could have been cut out and it still would have made an impact, if not like a greater impact, because things were more focused, but it just was a little too long for me. I watched Moonfall. Okay, I rated this 2.5 stars, but don't let that fool you. This is my new favorite movie of all time. So this came out this year again in 2022. It has got Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley. Oh my god, this movie is such a fucking masterpiece, okay? So this is, a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurling on a collision course with life as we know it. Oh my god. This movie is basically if you gathered a group of conspiracy theorists in a room and were like, give me all the conspiracies you can think about from the government to the moon. And they were like, okay, well first of all, the moon landing was faked, obviously. Duh. And then, this space station exploration, it was a cover-up, obviously. And then the moon actually is a megastructure, obviously. And then they took down all of these conspiracy theories and they were like, there's our movie, my friends. But this movie had just been as simple as like, something weird knocked the moon out of orbit. Yes, coulda. Could it have been, oh, there's aliens? Sure coulda. Did it combine every possible thing that could have been like a conspiracy theorist, an astronaut, head of NASA, because of course, and then you've got kids, because of course you need side stories, and then you've got a family that's trying to survive this, and then you have people flying up into the moon, and then you have the moon's history. This movie had so much shit in it that at every turn I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. But in such an entertaining, like, what the fuck am I watching kind of way, I loved it. It was horrible, but I loved it. If you want a movie that's very 2012, The Day After Tomorrow vibes, but like even more unrealistic and even more like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, Moonfall. And lastly, I watched Choose or Die. This movie came out recently on Netflix. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It basically is what a scary Jumanji wishes it could have been. Very like 80s nostalgia. You play this game on a dial-up computer and then you have to make choices and then it affects your real life, kind of like Jumanji, and then it was very underdeveloped. Characters were underdeveloped. Storylines outside of the game were underdeveloped. You didn't care about the characters. It was not a great time, but I do love movies with this kind of like, you have to make a choice, like Truth or Dare. I like these kind of popcorn horror movies. They're just easy to watch, but it just didn't do the bare minimum that it could have done to be watchable. So I wouldn't recommend it personally. And that is everything that I watched this last month and a half, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and welcome to the new channel. Let me know if there's any movies that you want to do like commentaries on, so just stay tuned and subscribe if you also enjoy movie or TV content, and I will see you very soon. Bye guys.